Welcome to Nightfall Mysteries.
Welcome to Night Tales, a world of stillness and tranquility, where you find everything you need for a peaceful sleep and beautiful dreams. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so that the sounds of Night Tales accompany you every night on a journey of calm and serenity. Tell us in the comments which country you are following us from. We would love to know from where the breaths of tranquility reach us around the world. The night was heavy over the small village nestled in the arms of distant mountains. The sky was cloudy, and the wind blew as if whispering ancient secrets long forgotten by humans. In that village, there was no electricity to light the streets or homes. Every house relied on a candle whose light danced shyly against the winter cold. 10-year-old Lila sat near the wooden window through which the first drops of rain had begun to seep. She watched them slowly sliding down the old glass, like the tears of the sky. In the small room, her grandfather, Salem, was lighting the wooden stove, watching the flames dance as if trying to chase the cold from hearts before bodies. In a warm voice, he said, "Tonight is the first night of the rain, Lila. Listen, rain at its beginning is like the first notes of a long story." Lila leaned closer to the window, listening carefully. The rain fell on the metal roof, producing a melody resembling a heartbeat. Outside, the trees shivered in the cold, and the earth greedily absorbed the raindrops as if embracing life after a long thirst. Her little brother, Noah, who was not yet 5, whispered, "Grandfather, is the rain angry? Its sound scares me." Grandfather laughed gently and said, "No, my little one, the rain is not angry, it sings. If you hear it fiercely, it is only knocking on doors to say, 'I have come bringing goodness and warmth to the earth and souls.'" The children sat around the stove as Grandfather told them about old days when the village would be plunged in darkness for long periods, seeing light only from fire and hearing only the sound of rain. He explained that people then slept to the sound of water and woke to it, living a peace unknown to the cities. Suddenly, the wind rose, shaking the door as the fire danced. Lila approached her grandfather and whispered fearfully, "Will the wind come inside?" He smiled and placed a hand on her shoulder. "No, my daughter, the wind does not enter warm houses. It only seeks out cold hearts to awaken them." The sounds calmed, and the rain fell steadily like a gentle song. Lila lay next to her little brother, listening to the melodies of water, while her grandfather whispered another story about a star that lit the sky when people slept, but tonight it was hidden behind the clouds. Before drifting to sleep, Lila looked out the window and saw a faint glow far in the sky. It was not lightning, but a mysterious light resembling a candle floating in space, shining quietly as if observing them. She smiled and whispered to herself, "Perhaps that is our star, searching for us in this rain." Outside, the village was entirely immersed in darkness, except for a few homes where firelight flickered and rain continued its endless song. By morning, fog covered the village like a heavy gray cloak. No one could see beyond a few steps, and the earth seemed to hide its secrets. The rain had not stopped overnight, and the streets had turned into small rivers of mud and water, flowing slowly toward the distant plains. In this old village, called the Village of Shadows, people had never known electricity. No wires hung between poles, no lamps lit the alleys. In the evening, light was made by their own hands, from the flames of stoves, from candles, and from hearts accustomed to warmth through simplicity, not appearances. Grandfather Salem woke early as usual, opening the creaking wooden door as if welcoming a new day. Despite the cold, Lila followed him, wrapped in an old woolen blanket. Quietly, she said, "Grandfather, don't you miss electric light, the lights that fill the cities?" He smiled, gazing at the sky. "Lila, true light is not what wires ignite, but what ignites the heart. Here, when we light a candle, we see clearly because the darkness around us is pure. In cities, people do not see the light despite its abundance because they are drowned in it until blindness." Lila loved his words but could not fully understand them. She was small for philosophy, yet big in dreams. They walked to the old square in the center of the village, where women gathered every morning to fill jars from the soul well. The well was very deep, its bottom unseen, and it was said that the sound of rain falling into it created a melody heard only by those with sincere hearts. Noah passed by his mother, who was washing clothes on a wet stone, and asked innocently, "Mother, why don't we have an electric lamp like in the city?" The mother smiled and said, "Because God gave us the moon, the rain, and fire, all shining more beautifully than any lamp." The children laughed and ran between clay houses with wood stoves from which smoke rose. The smell of fresh bread mixed with the scent of rain, filling the air with warmth that could not be bought or recommended. Inside homes, women renewed oil lamps, preparing for another night without electricity. Meanwhile, Grandfather Salem sat by his stove, watching the flames consuming the wood slowly, as if telling tales from a bygone era. Lila came close, sat beside him, and asked softly, "Grandfather, are you afraid of the dark?" He chuckled gently. "No, my daughter. One who knows himself fears not the dark. Darkness harms no one. It only reveals what lies within. In the dark, we see clearly what light cannot uncover."
He paused, his voice dreamy, speaking as if to time itself. "Do you know, Lila, when I was a child, the village was darker than it is today. We had only a few lanterns, yet we were happy. We heard the rain clearly and counted its breaths as if they were messages from the sky. Today, people in cities hear it through thick glass and feel nothing." Lila nodded, listening intently as the rain grew heavier, joining their conversation. Windows trembled, and the fire flared with every gust of cold wind. Then Grandfather reached for a small wooden shelf. "Come, Lila, I'll show you something." He brought out an old box carved with copper threads. Opening it revealed a small lamp covered in dust, seemingly from a distant past. Lila's eyes widened in astonishment. "What is this?" she asked. Grandfather smiled mysteriously. It was the first lamp that entered the village 40 years ago. A stranger brought it, claiming it carried the city's light, but it worked only one night, then went out forever. Since then, artificial light has never returned here, as if the village was born to live by rain and firelight. Lila touched the lamp and felt its ancient warmth, though it was extinguished. She whispered, "But grandfather, what if light returns someday?" He smiled, gazing at the gray sky. "When it does, my daughter, perhaps it will find us still cherishing the secrets of darkness and appreciating the value of light more than those who drowned in it." Silence reigned, broken only by the rain tapping a steady rhythm, playing an eternal melody. Lila closed her eyes and imagined the rain speaking to her softly. I am the unseen light, the endless music, the warmth when all leave. She opened her eyes to see her grandfather asleep in his chair, the fire still glowing, sending threads of light across their small faces. Lila smiled at the rain. We shall not fear the dark as long as you sing to us. She sat by Noah, holding his small hand, as they listened together to the village song, a village without electricity, yet full of peace.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. The best is yet to come.